What we're going to do now, we're going to play that if I don't clean my brushes every day, I lose that flexibility. The brushes get stiff, get sticky, and it can be quite costly, so I have to replace the brushes. So there's a few things here to clean up. First thing that I clean up is the palette here, because that's the big mess, the biggest mess. Usually I'm wasting some of the paint here. I was too generous. But eventually, that's another thing you're going to learn is how much paint do I need for this exercise. So, and I can put that in the bin, even this one. The next thing, because I finished with the palette knife, I'm going to clean up the palette knife. If you need to, you can dip it. That's good enough. Also, putting the lids. I always say, look, you don't need to put the lid as you go on and off in your tube. You can just wait at the end of the session. It's not going to dry. I can tell you, it takes a lot longer to dry, especially from the tube like that. But now it's time to put the lid on with clean enough. I will just put it up right and it will drain itself. Now I have to put the lid on because it was cleaning up and I tipped it over. So I've learned from my mistake for sure. Put the lid on. This is a white surface, and some artists, if you go on YouTube and you check what they're doing, some artists like a gray palette or a brown or black. I prefer the white one, and there is many reasons for that. I use a lot of transparent color. You will see later on when I talk about glazing. Transparent color, you need to see how the colors look through when it's transparent. If I have a gray background, you don't have that exact color that you want to see. So with a white background, you have the bouncing on the surface and come back to your eye, so you can see how the color is going to look when it's transparent. Now this terps, or the solvent you have here is dirty, but liter. So they are very expensive, so you never throw it in the drain. First of all, it's not very ecological, but also it's not very economical, because you can recycle it. So what I do is I have a few jars around. I have a bigger jar where I'm going to pour this one in a big jar, and when the jar is full, I put it aside and I let it rest for a week. After a week, your solvent becomes clear again like that, with a bit of mud at the bottom. So you just transfer it, and you've got your solvent again that you can reuse over and over and over. So you don't really lose it, except for a bit of evaporation, a bit of things that goes in the paper there. Before you go in this tub of this solvent. Looks pretty good. So when you squeeze it there, you see if you still have paint in it or not. It looks, I'm going to use, so it's gone into that my brush is really clean. So always same movement, drip it back. The cleaning of my brushes happen in a few steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another 3 steps. The next step are with water. With the solvent, I don't feel it's healthy for the bristle to leave the solvent in it for a long period of time. So I like to remove that solvent from the bristle by finishing the washing the brush with soap and warm water. Warm water, because if there is still a little bit of oil from the colors, and the water, or the hot or warm water, will dissolve that oil also, and it will help to clean up the solvent. I use soap. I use just cheap bar soap. That's good enough. And you just go in, if you got a laundry or a tap somewhere, you just make your brushes wet, rub it in the soap, and massage the hair to push the color if there is any color left. Some colors actually go only when you finish it off with the soap. You do as much as you can with the solvent, especially the blue and the red. Sometimes you still see a bit of blue on your bristle. It's when you go with the soap will extract what's left over. So after you've done it, I do a double shampoo to my bristle. I rub it twice in the soap and rinse. And then at the end, just rinse clear, so remove all the soap you could have in your brushes and give it a wipe on a piece of paper or on a cloth, a rag, and put it upright to let it dry. You've got pretty much everything cleaned up now. The paper that I have in the bin, I just like to take it outside. I don't like to keep it inside because there could be a little bit of leak and fume in the room. So when I finish, I take all the paper outside in the bin. And yeah, pretty much everything is ready for the next step. See you next time.